Being an empath certainly has its upsides, right? But as we all know, it also has its downsides. And today at queenbeing.com, I'm going to cover one of those downsides for you. I'm going to share with you a few ways that you can stop absorbing the emotions of other people and distinguish them from your own. So let's get started. My name is Angie Atkinson, and on this channel I offer free daily video coaching to help you discover, understand, and overcome narcissistic abuse in toxic relationships. I like to call it toxic relationship rehab. So if that sounds good to you, hit that subscribe button and we'll get going. Very often as you go through life as an empath, you notice something kind of weird. Sometimes you're not sure why you feel a certain kind of way, right? You have been in a great mood all day and then all of a sudden maybe your significant other comes home in a terrible mood. You literally kind of feel them when they walk in the door, and suddenly you don't know what you were so happy about all day. You feel terrible. You don't know why. Well, if you do know why, then you already know you're an empath. If you're not sure, make sure you check out the video I did yesterday. I'll link up here for you and take a look to see if you are an empath. I think the biggest problems that empaths have, the fact that until we recognize what we are and empower ourselves, we very often absorb other people's emotions without even recognizing it. And sometimes, even when we do know what we are, we still find ourselves absorbing those emotions. This could be anybody. It could be the emotions of some person at the grocery store, or our sister, our father, our mother, our husband, our wife, whatever. Very often it's even a stranger. There are so many good things about being an empath, like we're especially diplomatic. We know how to talk to just about anybody. We very often find ourselves being able to really understand the way other people feel and very often feeling it ourselves. However, there's a big price we pay, and that is the absorption of their emotions. And when those emotions are negative, it's really difficult to live with. This is especially true if you're dealing with or have dealt with a narcissist, because a lot of times you just feel like, okay, I've had enough. And in some cases, we can't really tell other people's feelings from our own. However, there are things you can do about this. It doesn't have to control you, your empathy. It can be a blessing. It can be a divine gift if you allow it to be. So now I'm going to teach you a few ways that you can sort of work to shield yourself, so to speak, how to protect yourself from absorbing other people's energy. And one of the first things you can do is called bubbling up. It's what I call it. It's a little woo-woo, but I'm going to give you some more practical tips too, so stick with me. So for bubbling up, it's simply you just imagine a white light around yourself. I like to use kind of an egg-shaped light, and it sort of acts as a barrier for other people's emotions. Now they can still filter through, but you'll be very clear to recognize that these are your emotions and those are their emotions. It's a simple visualization practice and it does help. It's not going to be enough on its own. So let's talk about some other tips. Since as highly sensitive people and empaths, we tend to kind of live in our head a lot, it's really important that we ground ourselves. So what do I mean by that? Grounding yourself is about mindfulness. It's about putting yourself in your body and recognizing where you are in that moment. It helps us really tune into who we are and what our bodies are, what we're feeling, what we're thinking, all of these things. It only takes about 5 minutes and it helps us to sort of focus less on that inner dialogue that we've always got going in our heads. It brings peace. So how do you ground yourself? Well, there's a few different things you can do. Some people say just take your shoes off and go outside and stand in the grass or the sand or the mud, whatever. You can do that. If you don't have that option, then stand still, put your feet on the floor, and visualize roots growing from your feet into the ground. Even if you're up on the 57th story of a building, you can still imagine those roots going through all those stories, going through all those layers, and getting down to the ground, to the earth. Another thing you can do is wash your hands or brush your teeth. Anything that kind of causes a physical sensation will be helpful. You can try meditation. You can try focusing on your breathing, or just get out into nature. Go outside, put your bare feet on the ground, or go for a walk with your dog in the neighborhood. Hug a tree, whatever it takes. Just find yourself a way to become grounded. Ideally in the morning and any other time you're feeling a little floaty. Next up, you want to clear your energy field. So do you remember that episode of Friends? Maybe I'm a little older than y'all, but maybe not. There was an episode of Friends where Phoebe was walking around plucking bad energy out of her aura.
No, don't. Stop cleansing my aura. No, just leave my aura alone, okay?
Fine. Be murky.
So I wouldn't expect you to do anything like that, but you can take deep breaths in with the good, out with the bad, that kind of thing. You can just visualize yourself kind of blowing all the bad energy away from yourself. I read somewhere where one empath talks about a universal vacuum, where she said that it just sucks away the energy. She just visualizes a big giant vacuum cleaner sucking away all the bad energy. And she says then she visualizes white light in the little holes where the energy was. I find it very fascinating. It doesn't matter how you do it, but make sure you figure out a way to sort of clear your energy. I like a standard pattern interrupt for this. So like I was talking about earlier with washing your hands or brushing your teeth, that's helpful. Anything that you can do, stand up and move from one room to another. Moving your body always helps. Next up, it's just really important to be very in tune with yourself, to understand your own energy, right? So journaling can be helpful for this, intentionally figuring out what it is that you're thinking and feeling, writing it down, all very useful. We as empaths, we tend to take on the energy of other people. Why do we do that? We do it because subconsciously or otherwise, we want to help people. This might cause us to be drawn to people who are broken, as we've talked about before, and it causes us to sort of attract those people because what they do essentially is they come and they sort of suck up our energy. They sort of use us as an emotional dumpster. Well, then they walk away feeling awesome and we are left with their negative yuckiness. Obviously, when we find that happening, we should cleanse ourselves and move forward, clear away the negative energy and move forward. But why do we do that? What's that all about? I personally think it has a lot to do with the fact that sometimes we aren't ourselves as balanced as we'd like to be. And sometimes we are so worried and focused on other people that we're really forgetting what it is that we need to do to take care of us. This is an excellent time for us to start to really do some inner work on ourselves. Whether we're going through a breakup or a discard from a narcissist or we're considering it, we often have forgotten that we even are really here. And we're not really worried about taking care of ourselves. We're too busy taking care of someone else. We have to ask ourselves, what's the payoff in this whole deal? Are you examining your core beliefs? It's important to do that. Who would you be if you didn't absorb the emotions of other people? Ask yourself, what else could you be doing with your life? Could you be using that skill for something positive? How do you feel when you help other people? What are you doing to heal yourself? How do you feel about boundaries? Do you feel like you're worthy enough? All of these questions should be explored while you're working on this stuff, while you're working to heal yourself and move forward. Remind yourself that you are worthy of a happy life. You are worthy of life that is filled with thoughts and emotions and feelings, sensations that you choose. See, the thing is, when you stop focusing on other people's emotions and on letting them kind of take over your own, you find something amazing, and that is peace. You find yourself able to focus on something else, something that you are interested in personally, maybe, or you for once. You can use that newfound self, that newfound center, that newfound energy to actually follow your own dreams. Maybe those dreams do involve your empath skills. Great. Use them for yourself, for the greater good. Use them in a new, empowering way. Start by taking care of yourself. Now, quickly, I want to ask you a question. This is, in fact, the question of the day. And the question of the day is, have you tried any of these techniques I gave you today for shielding yourself and kind of preventing yourself from absorbing other people's emotions? And if you have, which ones? If you haven't, how do you deal with it? Share your thoughts, your experiences, and your emotions in the comment section below, and let's talk about it. If you are interested in hearing more about how to embrace your power as an empath and how to shield yourself from negative energy, give me a like and let me know in the comments section below, and I'll keep talking about it. All right, that's all I've got for you right now. As always, thank you so much for being a part of my day and a part of my life. And hey, thanks for letting me be a part of yours. It really does mean a lot to me. Don't forget, check the links above and in the description below for additional help with being an empath and getting through these toxic relationships. I'll see you soon. It's my mission to teach others what I know to be true. You really can create the life you want. Take care of your body. Take care of your soul. Nurture the real you and introduce him or her to the world. Be comfortable in your own skin and in your place in this world. Take your spot. Take it now. And the universe will take its cue from you. You feel me? If so, subscribe to my channel. Let's get it done together.